And it's not going to be a lot of merging today, just so you all know. That's going to be a little bit more in depth, but I will talk through what I'm doing
Okay,
so you can watch in real time.
we are set to go. Let me turn off you can go ahead and get started. Um,
Okay, good. Well, welcome to Real Estate Canva Lab with,
Race and Frost.
and I'm Joy Johnson. We're glad you're here with us. We're going to still continue our bulk create series. We're trying to break each step down so that whenever you're trying to bulk create, you don't get lost in the middle of a step and wonder, what do I do? Or this part went too fast. You don't have to go back and watch one big video that covers the whole thing and keep stopping it. Hopefully, each one of these, if you go and you practice, you will feel confident and able to bulk create in the future. Today, I'm going to talk about templates. I'm going to talk about and show you how to use existing Canva templates. We're going to talk about you can create your own template. It's the same thing to have a template ready to go. We're going to talk about how we will decide what template will work well. All templates are not automatically good for bulk create. The goal is a flexible design that can handle changing content with minimal cleanup. So again, we're going to go back to when we started this whole process. I know we've talked over and over about your first step is think about what you want to create. If you're like I am, you might want to doodle on a piece of paper, write a few things, but think about it first. It's going to save you time in the long run. And of course, time is money. So we want to save all the time we can. And with that, I'm going to share my screen. And this will be what we are covering today. We're going to talk about choosing a bulk create friendly template. We're going to decide what stays fixed versus changes. We're going to talk about making room for different text lengths. We're going to test short and long content if we need to. We're going to spot templates that create extra cleanup and when starting from scratch makes more sense. So I'm going to, with that, show you kind of where I would start. We talked before, we created a sheet and we will get to the sheet. And again, that's going to be more next week where we go into connecting them. We'll have to a little bit today, but the sheet we've been using, the columns are for this series. I'm using the same series so we don't complicate things, which is our seller tips. We have topic, we have hook, caption, and a call to action in these posts that we're creating. So I'm just going to take you exactly where I would start. I would go to templates and I would look for what kind of template. Actually, I'm going to go in this tab. Again, we have all of our different things here in one file, which makes it easier, our different formats. That was a slide. So I just put in, I don't remember what I said, but something like, here it is. I want a very simple, minimal, and modern template for a series I'm going to post. I need good space for a hook and a call to action. For my example and for what we've been working on, I want to post the hook and the call to action on the screen. I want to keep the caption as a caption. You could also use it somewhere on the screen if you want to go more in depth with your tip. I like having a caption. I like putting a call to action in there, get people to contact you, engage with your content a little more, and stay on the screen. We are not going to talk about images really today. Your best bet, if you want people to stay engaged with this kind of content, is to put a little B-roll in the background here. Have maybe you're at your desk and you're writing, or you can be combing your hair, something that it just repeats on a loop. A little B-roll would be great. Walking into a home or something. Just think of what you want to put up there that might keep people engaged. And when we cover images, we can cover some of that. But I looked through when I searched for that, Canva gave me a number of templates over here that would work great. I also really like this one, things I've learned in my 30s. This format would work well. Let's do it here. And then I don't
So
need all these.
Joy, can you just talk a little bit about when you say this will work well? Like, what are you looking
I'm
for?
going to show you when I come
Okay.
here. I'm going to talk about that. Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
asking. I'll show you what I'm looking for. I definitely know that I want to put up a hook and I want to put up the call to action. So you can see this one also, although I don't like that little bee. But anyway, this could have a house and you could have your hook. And our hook was, all about things a seller could do to make their home ready. This could be our hook, this large type, and this could be our call to action. It could be the thing, and you'll see as we move on, you'll see more what I'm talking about exactly. But I know I want these two things. This template is too busy. You could put something down here, but it's really busy. It looks like it's, a photo collage thing for people. It's not going to work right for this project. Again, too much going on.
Yeah, I want
So
to
you're
highlight
given
what
some,
Joey, I want to highlight what you just said because I think
yeah,
it's really super important. And that is that what you're looking for are templates where the words that you are going to be using that are on the Canvas sheet are going to be highlighted and stand out. Right. So when she says too much going on, it's not just the words, it's that there's too much imagery. Your image, whatever template
right.
your background should be the background. It's not in the forefront because the words that you spent so much time creating, like this is a
Right.
perfect one, is
This
going
is
to be, yeah.
perfect example. For my brand, I would tweak things, and that's what I look for as well. I look for something that might look on brand for me already. If our goal is to make it simple, that's what we should do. We could always come in and we could just do something blank. We could come here. I don't need this background color. But I could tell this, I want to create because we're creating social media right now. I didn't do that right. I'm going to delete that one so I can show you from the beginning. But I can come here. We've covered this a little bit. And I could say, I want a social media post and I want an Instagram post because that's what we're working for. I don't like that black background for what we're doing. And then I could start making text blocks. And I could say, this is my, could have left it highlighted. This is my hook. And I can move my hook where I want it. Maybe I want my hook over here. And I can decide what font I want. It doesn't matter, but I'll show you. And then I could add another, and this could be my CTA, my call to action. So this would be easy for me as I'm organizing this and move forward, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But it would be an easy way for me to make something custom. And then maybe I want a color back here. Maybe I want, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. But I have a hook. I have a call to action. I can start adding any other elements that I want. If I want graphics, if I want a little whoop-de-doo, whatever. So you get the gist. Everybody knows how to make, I think, a basic post in Canva, but make it very clear to yourself. You have a hook, you have a call to action. You're creating something you want to use for this project. I liked this one because it was really easy for me to customize. I took a look at it. I was part of a carousel and I said, this is going to work for my brand and for a photo I want to use. It's got good text, clear text here for the hook. And it has a clear space here for the call to action. I don't need this because I'm not using a carousel, so I'll delete it. I don't need any of that. I'll delete. We're not doing the carousel. I can personalize this with my website. And make it fit. I'm going to look. This is big. A lot of my hooks are a little longer than this, and they're going to look a little weird. They're going to need more management than I want to do. So I'm going to make that text smaller, and we'll see how it looks. I might want to take that out. I might want to put my Instagram handle there. It's always a good idea to put some of your own stuff on this page in case other people try to use it for their own. So, here I would personally put my Instagram handle, which is at Joy. I would obnoxiously put my personal info kind of everywhere. And I'm personalizing, I'd like it lowercase. And then I would look at this. I'm going to show you what I did because we're not talking about images today. And I don't want to get into the whole thing, but I put an image in there that I've used often for my branding. So I personalized it. I know we usually say we're going to take questions at the end, but speak up if you have any questions about what I've done here. What makes it suitable for bulk create? Because I'd like to address that right in the moment if anybody has any. And Rayson, do you mind watching the chat if you see any?
Yeah, I don't see any in the chat, but I do have a couple questions for you to answer.
Sure.
How do you know on your slide which thing is going to be permanent versus which things are going to change based on the Canva AI, the Canva sheets?
Well, I know that I want my branding and I want this image. Again, we're going to talk about images and changing them later, but this image and this branding, I want this to be on every sheet. I want this to be my call to action. I want this to be my hook, and I could go ahead and write hook in here. It's not how I do it, but it could make it easier for you to organize yourself. And I could write CTA here for my call to action. And so I have a place marker when I move ahead, and I know where things are going to go. Is that what
Great.
you were asking,
Yes,
Lisa?
yes,
Okay.
yeah. So and that actually that is what I do. If I know the data, already know the data because we've created the Canva sheet. You already know the data. I name it.
Right, you name it.
Also, you mentioned this about how you were changing what should I post. You changed the size of it because you knew it was going to take up what you had created in your data sheets was going to take up more space. And so this is just a tip. One of the things now that Canva AI works so well, one of the things you can do is you could actually select like, what should I post? And let's say, you're using it for seller tips. You could you could take what should I post, and you could use Canva AI, the write feature, and say, write a seller tip that is, and for your data, you told it 20 words or 25 words, what you've created. Right? Because you were very, very explicit, as we've covered in previous classes.
So I could do something like that.
Yeah. And then if you did that, it would show you how long it was going to be, if it was going to be too big, if it was,
and that's true.
It gives you a way to pre-create templates that are going to require less work on the back end.
I do have to say though, and that's part of the great thing we've talked about of having both of us doing the class. I try to rely on AI as little as possible for design because I think that it doesn't look as warm and human. And that is my perspective.
Oh, no, absolutely.
But feel very guilty about all the data use. So I try to use it minimally.
You
but
could
I
copy and paste one of your hooks into here, same option.
absolutely,
Like I said,
and
either way,
take a
use
look.
use Canva AI or copy one of your hooks just to test. I'm suggesting that you
Yes,
test a single template before you bulk create so that
yes,
you don't have to make it so because you've done this so much, Joy, that you're like,
yeah,
oh, this is going to be too big.
right.
But if
I
you're
look at it.
just starting out, the first times that I did these, I had to go in and manually change so many of them because I didn't have my template formatted correctly.
I'm going to
So
show you what I do next, and we'll cover some of that. Actually, I want to call this, and you're right, I've done it, and so I don't always think about that. I don't want that in the back. Um, Another thing I had to say about that, and it slipped my mind, but we all have our ways of working, and I know we use AI a lot to create the content, and that's my preferred use of AI is really background stuff. And we're all running our business different ways now. But I do have a little soapbox about AI, and I'm not going to get on it right now because I do use it a lot. So I don't want to be hypocritical and jump on that, but um, I do have one. I'm just deleting these. I want to show you something now. So you've worked on this and you've looked at it. I'm going to touch on something because it's important for the conversation we're having now. Next week, we're going to talk even more about merging the content and making that all work. But I want to show you how you're going to get to bulk create and what that all looks like. There are multiple ways to get to bulk create, and there are multiple ways to get to where we are. Just like anything in Canva, there are lots of different doors in that hallway that take you to the exact same place. So play with it. You're not going to get lost. You'll see here in my toolbar here, I have bulk create because I have used it a lot. It's here. If you haven't used it, you're going to go into apps. And you're going to search Canva apps, and all you need to do is type in bulk create. And you're going to see a really basic app right here, bulk create. And you're just going to click on that. Now I have bulk create. It'll show up in your toolbar in the future. I'm going to use a sheet that we've been using lots of times to work on this. We covered in not the last class, but the one before, the couple before, different ways to get your data into Canva. Sheets is great. It's super easy. It's right here. It's native to the app. So I've been using it a lot. I'm really happy with it. And it definitely simplifies spreadsheets. So this is the sheet we've been working on. And you can see we have our topic, our hook, our caption, and our CTA. And I don't know why I don't have that highlighted. Something I do when I'm working on this is and I know we can do it the other way, but I've been dragging and dropping lately. And of course, it's been working perfectly when I'm not doing it for everybody to see. So here we go. I don't do the whole thing at one time. I do about 5, 3, 5, whatever. This is 4, that's 5. Just so I can see what it looks like. So this is, I'm selecting the data. You can do it all sorts of ways. You can put your numbers in here. You can drag and drop. You can hold the shift key and select, but I test it. And we did talk about we're going to test it. And Canva added something here, and I'm going to show you, and it's going to make your life a lot easier. So we know that seller tips from that sheet are our hook. We are going to grab the seller tips. We're going to say connect data right here. We can also say connect data. I'm not going to do it very well today. I'm just going to do it right here. It's the easiest. This is how I do it. You're going to say hook. That data is connected. We know that's our hook. We know this is, so these are the things we're changing. We're not going to touch anything. We're leaving the same. We can go in here and we can also connect data, is what I was saying before. There are two places. I like this bar on the top. Everything you need is right here. So I just am in the habit of using it. Connect your call to action. I've connected them. Canva added preview. This has just made me so happy. So now that we've matched our fields, I can preview it. And I can see how much editing am I going to have to do. You know, if this were my project, I probably would change the fonts so they're a little different, but that was pretty good spacing, as you can see. So I love preview. I'm going to go back. I want this data.
And that's a great piece. You know, remember how I said try to like use Canva AI or copy and paste something in. Since you do have the preview mode now, you can use that to see, oh, they're not looking like they're going to work. We need to make this box bigger. We need to make the text smaller, and make those adjustments before you actually create something.
Absolutely. I love the preview. I think I wanted to pop a bottle of champagne when they added it, because you don't have to do the whole thing and go back and have a big mess and try to figure out where you went wrong. Preview is, all apps should have preview modes. So we've matched everything. I added more fields is what I did. I went in and I added more fields. I want to go into, I don't know if you saw what I did. This says more options. There used to be a button that said advanced options. So we're always learning that Canva will change things, thinking it makes it better. If you ever see 3 little dots next to something, that always means more, and what you're looking for might be there. But you can click on this. I want, when I do this, I want one design with multiple pages. I don't want 14 individual designs. That's going to clutter up my entire Canva app, and I'm going to have 14 of these posts, or 30, or whatever your series is, all over the place. I want one design with multiple pages. It will make your life easier. I'm going to name each page in that design. I can name it any of these things: the topic, the hook, the caption column, or the CTA. I'm going to name it by the hook because I want to make sure I'm not repeating them. It's easy for me. That's just how I like it. Do it the way you like it. So I want one design with multiple pages. I'm going to hit continue. It gives an opportunity. If I glanced at this and said, you know what, I don't like that one, I'm going to do this, skip number 4, do this, you know, you can specify there. And then I'm going to create my designs. And I'm going to view my designs. And so you're going to have, this is why we're talking about templates and trying to make your life easy on that. You're going to have some things you want to change as you go through this. You might want to, on one of these, move something up or down a little bit. You might need this one. I would want a little space. I felt like that was just too low and too weird and on top of the CTA. You know, or branding, they don't have to be identical, but they need to be obviously yours. So you'll have a few little tweaks, but I think you can see from this that this is a good example of a template that works well. These are really minimal edits.
I would love to highlight a couple things that you have done, even without realizing it. The first one is know your data. So Joy went into this knowing that she was going to create a template, that she already was only going to use 2 things on the template, right? So this is why we spent the time through the previous sessions going over how to use the sheets, how to create your data, and working to know what your header rows were, because she knew that she was only going to use these 2 pieces. If you try and create your template first and then create the data, it can be a lot more, I feel like a lot more difficult. But
I think it's more challenging.
yeah, it's more challenging. So she knew her data when she was going in to create this template, knew what she was looking to create and which two columns she was going to want on this show, on the template. So that's important because that's important for knowing how big the spacing, what size text you're going to need, those kinds of things. The other thing, and she hinted upon this, but I feel like it's really important. The reason bulk create works wonders is because you can take a single template and you can style it for your brand just the way that's going to suit you and then create so many different
You
designs.
can
So
use it
go
over and
ahead.
over.
You can
I
use
was
it.
just gonna
Oh,
say,
yeah.
use it over and over. You can change it. Ray said I didn't mean to interrupt you. Why
No,
don't you
no, go
finish
ahead.
that
Yeah.
thought? Okay.
Yeah. Style
Because
for your brand, because I
I
think that's an important point.
and I want to tell you that this doesn't stop at tips and things. Imagine if you had a great listing and you wanted to post repeatedly about that listing. When we get into images, we can show you how to use different images, but you could go to your AI and you could say, I want to create 12 posts about the listing that you were probably working on, do it in your folder that you have or your project for that listing in your AI and say, I'm going to create 12 posts. I'm going to bulk create them in Canva. I want them to highlight a feature about the house. You could use the same photo. You could use different photos. Excuse me, I have the hiccups. You could have the address for the home that stays static. Um, you could have whatever you want, new listing, great listing, just listed, but you could change the feature that's in each post and you could
Yeah.
create it this quickly. Anything that you
Yeah.
can do with a spreadsheet where you can think of multiple ways to use something. What if you were doing an event and you had multiple speakers? You can do this. You can use bulk create to create a post that highlights each speaker, but you could do it once. You could sit here and do it once. And this is why we think it's worth the time to go into bulk create in such detail. There's
Yeah.
so much you can do with it. Really, your imagination is the only thing holding you back on this, and you can save time. I'm glad that Ray Sun talked again about how I knew what I wanted to use in my posts. It's really important. We've talked about it in this series from the beginning. This is not a fly by the seat of your pants kind of thing. You're just going to end up getting ticked off and wanting to throw your computer through the window. Think about what you want to do and then use the tools to make
The,
that work.
the
And
other thing that's really cool, and I actually would love for you to show this, Joy, is that you have just created, I don't know, what was it, Instagram post? Was your
mhm,
template for an Instagram post? Okay.
yes,
So, and she just created, she has this image, and when she goes to bulk create, she's created, 52 or however many, 30, however many
right. I
posts
did
she had. I
19
don't know,
today.
19.
Yeah,
Okay, she did 19 Instagram posts. If she goes back to that same template and she changes it to say a Facebook facegram, merging the two, right?
right,
Facebook post or a LinkedIn post, she can go back and merge that same data and have it totally formatted exactly for um just like that
mhm,
for LinkedIn,
right,
for Facebook. You're doing it individually for each of those different ones, right? For each of the different things, because you do have to adjust your template because it changes the size and all that
right,
stuff. Um, but it just makes it so simple to bulk create for different categories,
right.
and to do it, right? So I think that is
I
something. Mhm.
Oh, go ahead. I
No,
was
no, go for it.
I could literally do it in seconds. I
Yeah.
could just do it for another, say I wanted to do LinkedIn posts. I want to copy and resize. I don't want to resize this design because I want to keep this design. I want to use these designs. So I want to copy and I want to resize. And it's using everything. I always love that they have little
So,
booked in there. So it's
okay.
resized. And now I
So
can say, do I like it? Go ahead.
So Joy did this different. This is, we work differently. Joy did this in the ones that were already bulk created.
Mm-hmm.
I would have done it from the original template. I would have, because you notice what happens is dimensions get change.
Right. Dimensions change.
So I do it from the actual template that was originally so that I don't have to individually change. So
Right. So you don't have to change the size of the photo.
right. So
Which I didn't think about.
the original, this is why we work differently. The
Right.
original template that she had, that was just a single individual
Right. I could
template.
resize that.
I would resize that one.
I'm just playing with it now.
And then make the corrections. And then I would go through the bulk create steps again once it was done correctly for LinkedIn. Right.
And I think that would be probably a smarter way to do it. And I don't always do things the smarter way. But
because that's the most efficient
oh,
way.
Rima.
And then
I read your first comment. I'm back. I've joined you all again. The one that said, I wish I knew about this before I spent hours creating 52 weeks of templates.
Mm-hmm. And then the other thing is that what Joy showed you today was using the same image and using the data with the same image, how to create multiple posts where the image is the same, the background is the same, right? But the text changes. Okay. So over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be going over a bunch of different things, including what if you want the text to stay the same, but have different images with something, because sometimes something's working really well, or you want to try out different images, right? So we might do the B-roll she mentioned. We might show you how to do, we're going to show you how to do carousels. Like there's a whole bunch of different things that we can do with bulk create. And we'll be exploring those in more detail after we talk about merging more specifically.
Right. We kept the merging part light. Rima, I see that your hand is raised. I also want to know, did you see which bulk create
That's
app?
the question I was just about to ask you.
Okay.
No, I need to see that again, please.
Okay. I'm going to also answer all the questions. I'll show you the bulk create app. Yes, Linda Rayson said yes also, but it says preview once you've got your data connected. And you'll see more of that next week when we go more into the connection. Today, I just wanted to illustrate what I'm looking for when I look at a template. Rayson answered about the data sheet. Yes, we did the data sheets. And then we did create the data sheets. We did 2 weeks of creating data in Outside AI was 1 week, and the other week was doing it with Canva sheets. And then Linda asked a good question about launching. You can actually launch to social media. You can schedule it directly in Canva. And I wrote that down because I think that would be a great thing for us to cover in the future. Yeah, it's a whole other process, and I have a few ways I do it. You could probably tell I like a lot of personal control over things, and sometimes that means I'm doing things not the easy way. But it is what it is.
I currently do not personally use the social media posting option from within Canva. But we will be covering that so that people can see how to do it in case they feel like that's the best way to do it.
Yeah. I don't use that one myself either, but there are lots of different ways to get your data or get your content out. It's actually great that it's in Canva. I also recently learned that Canva is a woman-owned company, which is really cool to me. I love that so much. So I'm going to show where you find bulk create and which one. Rima, it's when you go to apps and you say bulk create, it's this really basic.
For me, the first one that came up
This
was
one.
that read bulk create.
Which one? I didn't quite.
It may not show up as the first one, but it'll be in there.
Yeah, it'll be in there. I guess maybe it comes up first for me because I've used it. Oh, the meme, you said that's the first one that comes up.
It says read,
Bulk.
bulk
Oh,
create.
You are, yeah.
Okay.
And now I'm looking at all the icons and I do not see an image like yours for bulk create.
Which I'm gonna go back to this, which Canva are you in?
That's a good question.
I'm in my personal Canva Pro.
You have Pro?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be there. We
It
will
should
cut,
be
you know
there.
what, Rima, I will make sure I'm going to be in, I'll be showing it in Canva Pro and in EXP, the enterprise account, because next week is all about merging. So that's the very first thing we're going to be doing is finding that bulk create. But it should pop up for you this way, but I will explore in more detail. I don't know why it wouldn't be popping up for you.
Oh, why
no
it isn't
idea.
either.
Nope.
It would be the really basic. The native Canva apps are the really basic ones.
Is it a new thing? Maybe it hasn't
No.
rolled out on mine yet.
No, it's been around
No.
for ages and ages and ages.
Yeah, since 24, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
And it's not, if you scroll down this toolbar, it's not in your toolbar here.
no, it's not there yet.
Okay. And there are other ways to get to it from your spreadsheet, and we can talk about that in the future too. But yeah. I would try it again. I would say,
yeah, I would log out, log back in, because
Yeah.
when I go to apps and I do bulk space create, it does pop up with that little folder there as well for me.
yeah,
Maybe I'll try logging out and logging back in.
I would do that. Sometimes that's the answer. On, off, log out, log back in. I had to do that the other day with Sisu. Anyway, that's it today. We're keeping these very broken down. And did anybody have any other questions while we're here?
About creating templates.
Yes, about about templates.
Keeping us on track.
Yeah, about templates that work for bulk create.
No other questions?
No. Okay, sounds good. I'm going to take that as a win and hope that that means that we made it really simple. And I'm going to tell you, don't be afraid. I really want to empower you to go play in your Canva. Create really bad stuff. That's why a lot of times I create really bad stuff for examples when we're doing this, because you just have to learn where the parts are and feel comfortable with them first. And then you'll be able to create what you're trying to make happen. Rima, I don't know why that is.
Strange.
But it's so weird. Have you tried your EXP Enterprise account?
No.
I wonder if it shows up in there. I'm curious.
I'm checking right now.
And then for those of you that are still listening, I guess Rima had asked about previous classes, and maybe we'll try and make a post in our Facebook group that says, you know, which class. They're all on my YouTube channel. But last week's class, I did spend the first few minutes going over week 1, we covered this, week 2, we covered this, week 3, we covered this, week 4, we covered this, so that you can know which classes. So if you're wanting to know which topics you may have missed or which topics you need to refresh, go to last week's and watch the first, I think about within the first 5 minutes, we cover that.
I think, oh, thank you, Linda. That's good feedback. And I think it would be very helpful if we did a post that said what we've covered.
Yeah. And Rima, I would recommend reaching out to Canva support.
Yeah, it's not showing up in my
Yeah, I would reach out to Canva support.
Okay, still not showing up. Okay, that is weird. I would reach out to them as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I don't know why it isn't. Thank you all for your time and your eyeballs. Appreciate that, and your attention and support. Everybody have a great week. We'll see you next Wednesday, and we're going to talk about merging.